right, good morning to you, sport fans. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Sport Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, the city of Ibadan. Yes, we are back as usual to take you through all of the interesting stories from the world of sport this morning, and particularly the camp of the Super Eagles. Once again, we are looking forward to see our darling national team in action. The last time we saw them in action was against Benin Republic. And of course, you listen to the insert of that goal scored by Victor Sime. Remember, that young man scored a hat-trick in that particular game the last time the Super Eagles of Nigeria were in action against Benin Republic. And this time around, we are looking forward to the Galatasaray striker, yes, to get the job done for us. So going forward into that game against Gabon on Thursday out there in Rabat, Morocco. And of course, the fans are really looking forward to this particular game. And as of this morning, 18 players are currently in the camp of the Super Eagles. Well, others are expected before the end of the day also, but as at yesterday we had 11 players, but this morning a total of 18 players are already in the camp of the Super Eagles. And talking about the first training, yes, went down yesterday. Hopefully other guys will also troop in today, but then trust me, the guys are really ready to get the job done against Gabon. And speaking of Gabon, yes, the manager has been talking tough, and I'm looking forward to what that man and his team will go on to do against the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because it's looking like they are really ready for us. They want to do everything possible to make sure they also defeat the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But then we are Super Eagles of Nigeria. We do not care whether you have a certain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang or you have a Mario Lemina. We just want to get the job done, and of course move closer to our dream of playing at the next World Cup in 2026. Okay, in case you're just joining us for the first time, this is the Tuesday edition of Sport Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, the voice of Biodun Apena, Biodun Sport. This lovely Tuesday morning. Like I told you earlier, we've got a whole lot to dissect on the show. I will definitely be looking at the Super Eagles of Nigerian camp, and I will look at matches that went down, rescheduled matches that went down in the MPFL yesterday. Yes, one of the biggest winner had to be Remo Star of Ikene. Of course, that game went down in Abeokuta, and of course, they got the job done. A good one for them. It is really important for them, to start picking up points, because we are gradually coasting home as far as the first stanza of the season is concerned. So they need all of the win they could gather right now, and it was important for them to get the job done yesterday. So once again, big congratulations to Remo Star. Of course, other guys or other teams who were involved in the rescheduled game yesterday, big congratulations to them. But then let's start from the camp of the Super Eagles on the show this morning.
Such a good feeling when the new
definitely such a good feeling in camp right now. Of course, the guys are fully ready to get the job done against Gabon, and like I told you earlier, we've got 18 players in camp as of this morning. Yes, let me take you through all of the players in camp right now. We've got the likes of Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, Samuel Chukwueze, Tolulope Aroko Dare, Olakunle Oluwasegun, Wilfred Ndidi, Moses Simon, the captain of the team, William Trostekong, Benjamin Frederick, Chidozie Awazim, Amas Obasoge, Stanley Wabali, Shemi Ajayi, yes, talking about Shemi Logo Ajayi, Ademola Lukman, Ako Adams, Chidera Ejuke, Bright Osai Samuel, and Raphael Oyedika. Well, the likes of Victor Simas, yes, they are expected in camp today. Remember, we talked about the fact that the man left Turkey. He left Turkey immediately. He finished the Galatasaray game. It shows the young man is very committed really ready to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We know what Victor Osimhen brings to the table when it comes to donning the shirt off of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And this time around, I would love to see him in camp. Let me just say, maybe the guys are really waiting for him, because we know once Victor Osimhen is in camp, trust me, the camp will definitely get to bubble. That doesn't mean the camp is not bubbling right now, but then when Victor Osimhen is around, it's all party because of his ginger, his energy when it comes to playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And we are also looking forward to see the young man in camp once again. So, as at this moment, yes, 18 players are in camp this morning. Hopefully, before the days runs out, yes, so definitely get to see more players trooping into the national team camp. All right, talking about another top player in the Super Eagles camp, Wilfred Ndidi, yes, has come out to say they're committed to clinching the World Cup ticket, which is not negotiable as we speak right now. Of course, we messed up in the qualifying round. South Africa were the one who picked the ticket. Good to them, congratulations to them, but this is another chance for us to actually pick our own ticket to play at the next World Cup. And the Besiktas midfielder has come out to say the Super Eagles are fully committed to picking the World Cup ticket. And it's going to be very difficult, no doubt. No one is saying it's going to be very, very easy. We know we messed up, but then this is the perfect opportunity for us to actually go on to qualify for the World Cup. And Wilfred Ndidi is saying this is a big cause for us. We definitely have to be committed, and I'm loving the energy from the guys. A whole lot of them, came to the camp very early. Talking about the guys playing in England, they came together, and others also joined them. If you look at this commitment, it shows that these guys really wants to play. They want to play for the national team once again and go on to play the next World Cup. But then Gabon is the only team, yes, standing in front of us right now. And if we pass their order, then we'll be waiting for either Cameroon or DR Congo. But then a whole lot of people have been saying maybe we should prepare for extra time and perhaps a penalty, because you can never tell. You might be thinking, this game might be done and dusted in 90 minutes, but then you can never say. This is football. Football can be so crazy, and Gabon just decided that, okay, we really want to give the Super Eagles of Nigeria a run for their money. I will make them suffer. But I want to believe we've got the talent, we've got the quality to actually go into that game and get the job done at the end of the day. Alright, definitely we are looking forward to that game on Thursday. Yes, that is when the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be meeting against Gabon. And trust me, we are also waiting for that particular encounter. All right, away from the Super Eagles camp, but quickly, let's take you through a result of matches that went down yesterday. We saw Kun Khalifa against Rivers United. It was, Rivers United who picked all 3 points. Yes, away from home against Kun Khalifa, and Bendel Insurance also lost to the hands of Plateau United away from home. And like I told you earlier, Remo Star out there in Abeokuta against El Kanemi Warriors ended in favor of the Sky Blue Boys. Talking about the Kennedy side, Remo Star, they picked all 3 points to 1 at the end of proceeding against El Kanemi Warriors. Alright, in case you're just joining us for the first time, you're listening to iSport. I beg your pardon, did I just say iSport? You're listening to Sport Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, the city of Ibadan. Yes, the Tuesday edition of the show where we are looking at some of the interesting stories, some of the trending stories from the world of sport this morning. And by the way, we told you that 18 players are currently in the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and hopefully the rest of the guys also will join them before the end of the day. All right, let's move away from the home front. Let's go straight to the foreign scene. Let's look at some of the trending stories as of this morning. Alright, let's delve into the world of tennis for this morning. Let's talk about the current world number one, Yannick Sinner. Began his ATP final title defense by sweeping aside a physical hampered Felix Auger-Aliassime in front of a passionate Turin, France. Yesterday evening, the Italian second seed, Sinner was imperious on his serve, winning his game 7-5, 6-1 against the Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime in that game. Well, I've been talking about the ATP finals, the 1,500 ATP. This is more like a preparation, matches or games for some of these guys going forward into next season. And as such, some of them are doing really, really well for themselves. They are not taking it, for granted, because it is really important for them to be in good shape before the major Grand Slam get to hit the ground running. And for Yannick Sinner, he's doing really, really well for himself. But talking about the Canadian Auger-Aliassime, he failed to get the job done against Yannick Sinner. Of course, you will definitely struggle when you face a certain world number one. Talking about Yannick Sinner, but then Auger-Aliassime also, I think his form has actually dwindled, because if you look at his trajectory also, has been very, very phenomenal. Particularly last year, he was really instrumental in some of this ATP store, but injuries hasn't really helped the young Canadian tennis player. But hopefully this young man will bounce back once again and start to always get the job done. Let's talk about other players also. Taylor Fritz has shown on a serve to beat Lorenzo Musetti 6-3, 6-4 in the Jimmy Connor Group tournament. That is another big tournament currently going on out there. Well, we hope all of these guys will be fresh to return into the major Grand Slam next year. Okay, moving away from the world of tennis this morning, quickly let's talk about the world of Formula One. Talking about Ferrari chairman John Elkann says Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc need to talk less and focus on driving after a disappointing Sao Paulo Grand Prix last weekend. Hamilton and Charles Leclerc both failed to finish Sunday race in Brazil after being caught up in a separate incident as the team frustrating season continue in that particular Grand Prix. Well, the likes of Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, they've not been doing quite well, but then Ferrari dropped to fourth in the Constructor Championship behind Red Bull, and Mercedes haven't hoped to challenge for the title at the start of the year. Well, a whole lot is happening to the Ferrari franchise, but trust me, McLaren has come to stay, and those guys are definitely going to go all the way to get the job done at the end of the season. Just 3 races to go, and that shows McLaren are not sleeping. They definitely want to coast home with this one. But then still talking about the world of Formula One, let's talk about Lando Norris, who says he's ignoring everyone who talk ill about him because he's currently in the driving seat of the driver championship with a victory at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix last weekend. A whole lot of people have been talking about him, that he needs to do better, but the young man is currently doing better, and they are still talking. That is one thing about a human being. They will definitely talk when you are doing well, they will talk when you are not doing well, they will talk, but then all you have to do is to focus on your craft, focus on your job, focus on whatever you are doing, and of course make sure you come out really strong. And that is what Lando Norris is currently doing right now. The young man is currently topping the log in the Drivers' Championship with his victory in the last Grand Prix, talking about that one that went down in Sao Paulo in Brazil. Okay, we're from the world of Formula One. Let's go back to the world of football and let's look at one or two stories before we say bye on the show for this morning. Real Madrid and Manchester City are closely monitoring Dominic Szoboszlai, with Liverpool increasingly worried about his contract situation. Interestingly, this man might be staying at Liverpool. Nothing really concrete about him wanting to leave Liverpool, but then it's just about time before he will go on to put a pen on the paper. I think he's an important player for Arne Slot. I'm not sure they will let him leave Liverpool to join another English side. Even speaking of playing for Manchester City, but Madrid, you can never say never, because Madrid know they have a way of actually getting whatever they want. Hopefully this man will stay at Liverpool and of course go on to win more trophy for the club. Liverpool also, yes, they are interested in Inter Milan centre back Alessandro Bastoni, who is valued around £87 million, and that is according to El Mundo Deportivo, yes, out here in the Italian Serie A. But the young man says he would love to remain at Inter Milan or perhaps go on to play for Juventus. Well, I think the perfect place right now to be is Inter Milan, but if he wants to move, why not come down to the English Premier League world? Let's see what this man has got. Let's see what he can actually do in another league except from the Italian Serie A. Okay, still looking at stories from the world of football. Wolfsburg are exploring a possible January move for West Ham striker Nicolas Füllkrug, the man who joined West Ham United, and some of the transfer market hasn't really hit the ground running for them. And right now it seems that this man might return to his home country in Germany, but Wolfsburg are the perfect club, are really interested in him right now. They want him to come and get to hit the ground running for them. Since he left his former club in Germany, he's not been doing well for West Ham United. I think injury also affected him, but then English Premier League is really, really fast. The pace is really crazy. Maybe this man is not getting in tune with the English Premier League, but the perfect place for him to be right now is to go back to Germany, and I think that is the perfect option for him right now. And Wolfsburg are offering him that lifeline for him to return to Germany in the January transfer market. Alright, let's talk about Chelsea. Nicolas Jackson says he's focused on completing his season at Bayern Munich amid report of a potential January transfer move to the likes of Newcastle United, West Ham United, and talking about Manchester United. Well, Manchester United has always been in this conversation, but nothing really concrete about Nicolas Jackson going to Manchester United. But then the man says, I'm really focused in completing my loan deal at Bayern Munich, and I think the man is doing decently enough for himself in the German Bundesliga, even though he's not been getting the starting shirt in the team of Vincent Kompany. But then I think he should make that decision to return to England, go play for Newcastle, go play for other club, and let's see if he can actually get the job done for them. But right now, I'm not sure Chelsea are going to have him back in their team. Okay, let's take the final story from the world of transfer for this morning. Galatasaray have remained in contact with Yves Bissouma. Yes, talking about his camp. They are in a bid war with the likes of Manchester United. Well, Manchester United want to get Bissouma. I think that is going to be very, very interesting, because at some point they were interested in Carlos Baleba. Yes, in the summer, but right now it seems all of the interest has actually cooled down, and they're looking at another African player in Bissouma, the Tottenham midfielder. Well, the man also, has really struggled with a whole lot of injury, but that doesn't mean he's not a quality player. This man is a quality player, a fantastic player, anytime, any day, and I think he's going to do any decent job. He's going to do a whole lot of decent job for any team that actually, get to sign him in the transfer market. Maybe Manchester United, maybe Galatasaray, but right now it seems Galatasaray are the only one